history, 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 history.
The differences in how some Muscogee, MV Skoke, words are pronounced can be attributed to several factors common in any complex, living language, especially linguistic rules specific to Muscogee phonology, the existence of dialects, and natural language change. Here are the main reasons for variation in Muscogee Creek pronunciation. 1. Dialectal differences, regional tribal variation. The Muscogee language is spoken by different communities, which has led to distinct dialects, each with its own preferred pronunciations and vocabulary. The three main dialects are Muscogee Creek dialect, spoken by the Muscogee Creek Nation in Oklahoma, Oklahoma Seminole Creek dialect, spoken by the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, Florida Seminole Creek dialect, spoken by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. For example, a word might be pronounced one way in the Muscogee Nation, MV Skoke, and a slightly different way among the Seminole people. 2. Phonological rules, sound changes within words. Muscogee has rules that dictate how sounds change depending on their position in a word, or what sounds are next to them. This can make the pronunciation of a letter appear inconsistent to an English speaker. A major example is voicing. The letters P, T, K, C, and S are typically pronounced as voiceless, like in English spot, stop, sky. However, when these letters appear at the beginning of a syllable between two voiced sounds, like vowels or consonants M, N, L, W, Y, they become voiced. P can sound like a B, for example. In op owl, it sounds like OBUH. T can sound like a D, for example. In Ito tree, it sounds like I do. K can sound like a G, for example. In F head, it sounds like IGUH. C can sound like a J, for example. In VCE corn, it sounds like a J. 3. Allophonic variation, the R and C sounds. Muscogee has sounds that do not exist in English, and the way they are written can vary, leading to different representations of the same sound. The letter R. This letter represents a voiceless lateral fricative, written as \L bar in the International Phonetic Alphabet. It is a breathy, THL sound, similar to the ul in the Welsh name Llewellyn. English speakers often write this as HL or THL, creating a pronunciation difference. The letter V. This is actually a vowel sound in Muscogee, pronounced like the in English about or cup, written as \partial in IPA. This is a source of confusion for English speakers, who are used to it being a consonant. 4. Historical sound shifts. Like all languages, Muscogee has changed over time. Certain sounds used by older generations of speakers have naturally shifted for younger speakers. For instance, the vowel often written as I was historically pronounced like the I in English pine, a diphthong, but today it is generally pronounced more like the I in English day or hey. In summary, the variation you notice is a combination of regional dialects, automatic sound changes that happen when certain consonants and vowels meet, and the fact that the written alphabet uses Latin letters to represent sounds that are fundamentally different from English.
A dialect is a specific variety of a language that is characteristic of a particular group of speakers. It is a complete system of communication that typically differs from other varieties, or other dialects, of the same language in three main ways: pronunciation, accent, the way words are spoken; vocabulary, lexicon, the words and phrases that are used; grammar, syntax, differences in sentence structure or word forms. Key points: everyone speaks a dialect. The standard or official form of a language, like standard American English or British received pronunciation, is simply one dialect that has gained social prestige and official status. Basis of variation: dialects are most often associated with geography, regional dialect, for example, Southern American English, Cockney English, Parisian French; social group, sociolect, for example, those based on class, education, or ethnicity, like African American Vernacular English; language versus dialect. The distinction is often more political and social than purely linguistic. A common saying in linguistics is that a language is a dialect with an army and a navy, meaning a variety that gains power and prestige is often elevated to the status of a language. The general rule of thumb is, if speakers can generally understand each other, they are often considered dialects of the same language. For example, American English and British English. If speakers cannot understand each other, they are usually considered separate languages. For example, French and Italian, though they share a common ancestor. However, there are exceptions, such as Mandarin and Cantonese, which are often called dialects of Chinese despite being mutually unintelligible when spoken.